Hey guys, Experiment XX here from Never Give Up Gaming, here to provide you a video of Killzone Shadowfall multiplayer for Consoles Unite. I hope you're going to enjoy the video. We're going to go ahead and jump into a 24 player team deathmatch right now. I personally really like the Killzone series. I've never been a massive fan of the stories. I do think they lack any feeling to them whatsoever, but they're always fun to play through nevertheless. But I've always loved the multiplayer aspects of them, and Killzone Shadowfall on the PlayStation 4 not only has a great multiplayer aspect to it, but it also looks absolutely amazing as well, which you guys are about to see as we go play some team deathmatch on the wall. Obviously the recording is in 1080p at 60 frames per second. The game also runs at 60 frames per second at native 1080p as well. But the sort of main problem we have is because of YouTube's uploads. Unfortunately, I can only provide you with native 1080p 30 frames per second footage. And even though it still looks great, it just doesn't quite have that sheen to it that the game has when I'm playing it. I mean, right now, the class I'm using the M55 Rumbler, and I'm also using the Ripper pistol. It's a very powerful setup. The M55 Rumbler, it basically has absolutely no recoil whatsoever. Oh crap. Great start to the video. And the Ripper is also quite a powerful handgun as well, and once you've ranked it up, you also unlock a full auto attachment for it, so it very much acts like Killzone's own version of the G18 pistol. But where Killzone's concerned, it's one of these games, I just love it, just to play and have fun on it. When I play Call of Duty or Battlefield, I take it a little more seriously. A little more seriously than I do Killzone. Usually with Battlefield and Call of Duty, there's a lot of rage involved. But with Killzone, it's just such a great game to jump into, play and shoot people. And personally speaking, I find it's one of the most visually impressive of all the next-gen first-person shooters that have been released so far. I mean, I had high hopes for Battlefield 4's Frostbite 3 engine, and even though it is impressive, I personally don't see how it's anything more than a minor improvement over Frostbite 2. And I don't really class it as a next-gen engine. I don't think it has that visual impact. I mean, I understand that the multiplayer Battlefield has 64 players on massive maps with vehicles, so obviously the graphics engine will take a hit on that one anyway. But playing through both campaigns, seeing as they're in a more contained area and a lot more linear, Killzone's graphics engine is definitely a hell of a lot more impressive. And sets the bar for first-person shooter engines, I think, so far for this generation. That's not to say I don't enjoy playing Battlefield or Call of Duty. I enjoy playing them quite a bit. I'm not quite a graphics whore, I may sound like one, but funny enough, I'm one of these people. I'll take awesome gameplay over decent graphics any day of the week. There's quite a few titles that I'm hoping to record and get footage up for you guys to enjoy. I mean, another game that I'd like to get up so you guys can see it, I mean, it's a multi-platform, it's also cross-generation, is Thief as well, because I think that's a very good game. Definitely deserves a lot more attention than what it's been getting. But anyway, let's get back to the general subject at hand. I mean, With Killzone, I think I prefer it over Battlefield or Call of Duty, mainly because of the ranking system. In place of obviously going up ranks from private to corporal and so on and so forth, you sort of, you'll go from you'll sort of start off as basically rank 0, and your rank is actually based on the challenges you complete. So I think in the first half hour of me booting up Killzone when I originally played it, I probably got up to about rank 150 because originally, I know they've added more challenges to it, so I'm not sure what the total is now, but originally it was about 1,500 challenges to complete within the game. So obviously that was basically the maximum rank. But your rank, in a way, meant nothing. It's sort of a way to show off and say, well, I've completed more challenges than you. But with Killzone, it's not down to the weapons you use, or say the weapons you've unlocked and the attachments you have on them that make you better and get you more kills. With Killzone, it is down to how you play the game, and as you can see, I'm playing it very bad at the moment. I'm not used to talking and playing at the same time, because I mean, on Killzone, all the weapons are unlocked from the off, basically, sort of. So I mean, if you're considering maybe buying Killzone Shadowfall for your PlayStation 4, you don't have to worry about getting owned by people that have spent like 50 or so hours on the game, just hammering away trying to get weapons or something unlocked, like you'd expect on Battlefield or Call of Duty, where if you've just gone out and bought the game, then no doubt your first few games you're going to absolutely get battered no matter how good you are at it, purely because they have got the most OP guns in the game. With Killzone, like obviously, as I said, the Rumbler is a good gun. It's got like no recoil, it's accurate, although you could beg to differ with the way I'm using it at the moment. You can just jump straight on and put the M55 Rumbler on your Assault class, I believe, because this has classes very similar to Battlefield. It has like a Scout class, which is basically Battlefield's Recon. It has an Assault class, which pretty much acts the same as Battlefield's Assault class does, and then it has a Support class, which again acts the same as Battlefield's one and carries the heavier weapons like the LMGs. But you also, in Killzone, you get abilities. For example, the Assault class can lay down a nano shield, which I'll show you in a second. I'll get out on the actual field and I'll show you the nano shield. I like playing as this. It's sort of an all-rounder. It carries extremely powerful weapons when used the right way, and it has a great balance of defensive weapons as well. The nano shield, the way it acts basically is I can shoot through it from either side, but the enemy cannot penetrate with any bullets, explosives, so on and so forth. But obviously, it's not so overly powerful that they can't, get to me in any way. They can run around behind, or if I'm reloading, they can run straight at me through my shield and knife me. They can throw grenades around it, so it doesn't make you invincible. But used in the right way, you can certainly rack up a decent streak in a confined corridor. Basically helps you out. I mean, there are no kill streaks in Killzone, which I do like. I think it's why I like Battlefield quite a bit as well. It's the lack of kill streaks means a player isn't relying on a computer-controlled streak to rack up their awesome KD. In Killzone, it's all down to you, your individual skills as a player, that provides you with an impressive KD. So, as you can see here, I'm sort of racking them up. Oh, it's great. Yeah, it was happening for a moment there, but that's essentially it. I mean, I've also got another ability. It's known as Stun Blast. The Scout ability also has a stun drone. When the Scout activates a stun drone, it will follow them around, and when an enemy is detected near them using movement, it will then go ahead and fly towards them, explode and stun them, blurring their vision, slowing their movement. So very much like a flashbang. Whereas the Assault Stun Blast it's not a drone. It actually comes from your armor. I think you have something attached to your armor or something that allows it to do that. But it basically does exactly the same thing, but it's more for close proximity. Gives you the upper hand, so you can melee attack them. I haven't actually. I mean, as I said, I really enjoy Killzone Shadowfall, but I actually haven't played it for quite a bit. I mean, I've sort of where Naval Strike's just come out for Battlefield 4. I've been playing that with the clan. And hopefully maybe I can get some footage up for you guys, so you can go check, so you can come and check it out. But I've also been enjoying recently the PlayStation Plus title for PlayStation 4 went up. Was Mercenary Kings. I've tried that out. I've been playing it with NeverGiveUpGaming's Cranky. I quite enjoyed it. Definitely a change of pace. It reminds me very much of the old Metal Slug games, which I very much enjoyed. The guy's really started to do my head. He's been out there the entire time. I cannot believe someone hasn't killed him yet. Oh, there we go. That is one of the support classes' abilities. It's basically a revive drone. As long as a person, there we go, team. As long as a person's sort of in your field of view, you can't use it through a wall. But if a person's in your field of view, then you'll basically be able to use. You don't have to be next to them. You can just use your ability and send out a revive drone, and they basically press triangle, and they can be picked up. So it comes in handy. I mean, it keeps the support class at a safe distance, so you can still provide cover, but also revive its teammates. Oh, I'm getting absolutely hammered. That turret there as well is another support ability. It's very much, it's used the same way as my nano shield is. You get the ability out, and you'll have a little I don't know, planting stick, I guess, and you just go ahead and put that down wherever you want. The more kills you get with them, or in the case of my nano shield, the more kills I get while shooting through my nano shield, the more they'll rank up. As you can see here, this guy is using his nano shield there to shoot at me, but as I said, he's basically just run through there, and I've got my wrong weapon now. God damn it. Basically, as said, he just ran through and meleeed him, and that was basically it. You know, the shield only protects you for so long, but I'm getting well ahead of myself now. They only last for a certain amount of time, and as you can see, they only take a certain amount of damage, and then that's them. Oh, stabbed in the back. Very nice. They only last for a certain amount of time. They can only take a certain amount of damage. But they can also be deconstructed if you were to run up to one after you killed the person behind it, or there is no one near it. People do have a tendency to just run off and leave them, because obviously you can't pick them back up again once they've been planted down. You can deconstruct them yourself, so they start building quicker again. I've completely forgotten what I was talking about. Sorry, I was concentrating on where the enemies are. It's a terrible habit that Killzone has. The spawns are actually fixed. Sort of while I'm on the subject, it's actually a very nice way of doing it. I wish Battlefield or Call of Duty would try and do something similar. At the spawns, there are turrets that can't be destroyed to stop you from going in there and trying to spawn trap people, get straight in their spawns. I've been shot by an air drone. We lost. We just had to lose while I was in the middle of the conversation. That was nice. And basically, when the shields are up on there, you cannot go through. So if you try and run into the enemy team spawn, if the turret doesn't get you, which you actually lose experience for, if you're killed by an enemy team spawn turret, then you're basically punished by losing, I think it's 50 experience. But then again, you should get killed by an enemy spawn turret unless you're trying to get in their spawn anyway, so it's your own fault. But the spawns also have shields that act exactly the same way as the nano shield does. In a manner of speaking, the enemy can't shoot through like your shield, you can't shoot through their shield, but they also can't shoot out of it, obviously, to stop teams from just spending the entire time in their spawn and being unkillable whilst racking up ridiculous streaks. But if you try and if the enemy team tries to run through these spawn shields, they basically get dissolved. I think it's an absolutely brilliant way to stop spawn camping. I mean, on the odd occasion you do get spawn camping. There's a couple of maps on this where they are poorly designed in a way that the enemy can sit further back, so they can't, so the turrets won't hit them because they're not in their zone. So as you run out of your shield, you'll just be killed. There are a couple of maps designed quite badly for that, but it's not a regular occurrence. It only seems to be done sort of, I know, I guess with elite teams, ones that seem to be more organised and carry the heavy weapons that don't need to be reloaded after taking out maybe 1 or 2 people. So overall, sort of that's the gameplay for Killzone Shadowfall multiplayer. Hoping I can get maybe another couple of videos up for you guys if you really enjoyed it. Other than that, there's a lot more to look forward to from Alex, who's been uploading the Call of Duty videos to the channel. So I hope you guys have already been enjoying those. And so me and Cranky will see you guys next time.